No, you're okay right now without. Okay, not right now.
Hello.
My name is Henry Zerwas. Something I like myself, just like physically or anything.
Anything.
Well, I love my curly hair.
My name is Kennedy McDowell. Something fun about me, I would say, is I write poetry. So,
What kind of poetry?
I usually just write about sad feelings. I usually don't write poetry when I'm like happy for some reason, but I like put my feelings down on paper so I can understand them better.
My name is Will. My name is Chris, and we're identical twins.
I'm a stripper. I'm just kidding. Are we like recording now though? Okay, sweet. So my name's Jacob Dillon. I am 23 years old and I grew up in Colorado and I've been here my whole life. And currently I am still living in Fort Collins after just graduating, but working at the correctional facility in Larimer County.
Grew up playing with the Barbies and girls' toys. Every time we went to McDonald's, we would ask for a girl toy, and it was just like everybody knew that we were very flamboyant and not into boy things.
I used to like put towels on my head and act like it was long hair, as if I was a girl, you know? Like, I used to do things. I used to dance to like Lady Marmalade, like these girly songs as a kid. Like,
I guess I was always just a little funny little kid.
ugly, class clown, like I always just wanted people to laugh at me, you know, instead of with me at the time. So I always just wanted people to smile and laugh, and I guess that was the type of kid I was.
We were practically inseparable. Like, I mean, we still are. It's definitely been like a lifelong, like, best friendship, which was incredible because, I mean, you always had the most support.
I was adopted. That's always like the first thing I tell like people once, you know, I get to know them. But I was adopted from Guatemala at 1 year old.
I would say 5th grade and 6th grade is when I was like, I'm something, I just don't know what I am yet. And so then that process kind of led into high school. And I came out 8th grade. I was in 8th grade when I came out to my mom, but it took me a couple more years to come out to my dad.
Like 5th, 6th grade is when I kind of realized I was like, something's a little different. Wanting to talk more with the girls and the guys. Seeing the guys differently, obviously. I don't know, I think it was also too when I started seeing it more in pop culture. And then in like, when I was like in 6th grade, 7th grade, I was, you know, obviously still in the closet. So I was trying to like hyper analyze like my little body movements, the way I was speaking, who I was like hanging out with, things like that. If I had like my shirt like this, how would I ask 2K at, you know?
It was like definitely pretty early on. Like it was in elementary school, like my friends that were boys would be like, oh my god, who do you have a crush on? And I would have to like come up with a girl that like, and it would honestly just be like, in the moment, it felt like the truth. Like I was like, I do have a crush on this girl. but I wasn't looking at the girls.
Develop throughout high school and today, post-college, like I finally came out, you know, a couple years ago. So it definitely took a while for me to realize and then also accept.
I told Isla when I was like, who was like my best friend, because I'd known her literally for my entire life. And I told her, I think over text, and I just told her, I was like, I think I'm bi, which, you know, like the gay way. But after I told her, I think I started dating a girl right after, and then she was all confused. But after that last girlfriend, I was like, I can't keep hiding this, especially if my dick can't get hard while I'm trying to have sex with her.
How did that go down? I think we just knew, actually. We never had to tell each other. It was like we both always knew that we were both gay.
It was actually my twin brother. He was the first person I came out to, and came out to him and he laughed in my face. We didn't have the best relationship for a while because he didn't know how to feel about it, you know.
I went out to my mom, which I feel like is the circumstance for a lot of men too, because, you know, that like bond with their moms is very special. But my mom and I have always, you know, had each other's backs and just been more like best friends. So when I did, it was in the summer, and I remember even a couple days before I drove home from Fort Collins to go visit my parents, like as I got onto the highway to go home, I remember I was like, this is the weekend, like I'm gonna do it. And so it was even a couple days ahead that I was planning to have that conversation. And then I remember like she was about to go to bed and I was like, hey, I would like to talk to you about something. But I was like, it's gonna be one of those conversations you would like should sit down.
It's like my parents, it was, we did a whole bunch of shrooms and then watched Love, Simon. And then after that I was like, oh yeah, I need to tell my parents. I need to tell my parents. And then I told them the next day.
My mom was weird about it, I guess. Of course she loves me no matter what. Like, she's my biggest supporter. I love her to pieces. But she was more worried about what people would do to me, what the world would do to me. You know, she's like, that's my baby. I can't, you know. Like, I get hate comments all the time. And she would spend like hours just responding to the hate comments. But, you know, she said it is what it is. And it is, you know. You can't stop them from saying anything.
Well, I guess with them, it was like a little bit different. We never had a moment where we sat down with them at all. So we were lucky to have role models. Our mom's brother is gay and has a partner. And so they've always been very active in our lives, and we saw them, and like my mom like explained from a very young age like who they were and what it meant. And so like we always knew our family would be supportive, so we didn't think we had to come out.
She was very supportive. She wasn't even like judgy, or like I didn't feel any sort of like resentment, and our relationship didn't change. It got better, so I'm very thankful for that.
I was shitting bricks, so
I was like, I need to have a conversation with you. Funny enough though, it was like, my dad was, we were like doing like the lumberjack stuff, like cutting wood. And then I was like, I need to talk to you. I was like trying to find the straightest way to tell him.
I don't know, he was just really, he's not the most supportive of it at first. My older brother coming out definitely made it easier for me to come out, for sure. Devin, he had like the hard part of it, but when I came out, I told him, this doesn't make me any less of a man. Like, I'm still your football player. It sucks that I had to come out to him like that, but sometimes you have to word it differently in order to, you know, get a point across. I don't know, so.
Did my dad cry of joy, luckily, you know, but he was very emotional. My mom was very emotional. They were just finally happy that I was telling them, because I mean they've obviously, you know, they've found porn on my computer. They've sent me to therapy for like drug addiction because they think that like me being in the closet was the reason I was doing all these things. and stuff. So and then I asked them, I was like, well, I mean, you guys must have thought that I was gay or bi or something. And they're like, yeah, but it was always more of like a flip of a coin. But we didn't want to say anything, I guess, or make a statement about it.
My own like sister and dad don't for sure know, which I'm sure just like the rest of my family, they might assume. But I just haven't shared with them because I just don't have a close enough relationship with them anymore to like really feel the need to share. Like I said, they like deserve even to know that side of me or like to care. But yeah, not yet. The church I've always gone to since I was younger, like they're like touch upon those subjects, but at the same time they're very aware of like you can't just invalidate something that's natural for someone else. So for me, I've luckily also had a good experience being able to not necessarily have the same church traumas as other people, because I understand when people go to conversion therapy, you know, there's going to be trauma there. When people go to, you know, their parents are like, you're going to hell, or they just get told on campus they're going to hell, or like all that. I'm just like,
I do consider myself Christian. So at that time, when I was figuring out what I was, along with me going to church every Sunday and Wednesday, because I was huge, I was big in church, right? I thought I was wrong for even like stepping into the church. I felt like I was just guilty. And at that point, I tried to push it away, and I went on a missions trip. And I told the pastor that was with us that I was gay, and he looked at me and told me, he's like, "You're not gay." He's like, "You're just seeking love from a man that your father couldn't give you. So come back from the mission trip." I'm like, "Mom, Dad, I'm not gay anymore." They're like, "Oh, okay." You know, because they're like, really, like, how does that even work? But yeah, 2 weeks later, I was back to the bullshit. So yeah, no. I stopped trusting the church after that. Like, I'm still Christian, but church, it's very much political to me, so I can't do that anymore.
The like Christianity, it's like some other religions, it's like if you're not like, you don't keep your virginity, that's a big deal. So even just sex in general is like a big deal. So for me, I was trying to also maintain that like innocence. So coming out also kind of meant like, you know, I had explored my sexual side. And so there was like that hand in hand thing where I was like, hey, you know, but like I said, especially since I came out to my mom, she had like no judgment at all. She was just like, I'm here to love you and all that. And so it was kind of like, okay, so, you know, nobody's perfect and there's different moral compasses, there's different things. So, you know, just trying to figure life out as it goes at this point.
That was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Just to come out finally. It was like literally the biggest burden ever, finally being like lifted off my shoulders, and I was like, I'm finally allowed to be Henry.